What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? So, welcome to Monday's episode. So, we just celebrated 100 of this season. So, this is 101 of season two. I forget what that equates to. I think we're almost at 500. Like, for all I know, this could be 500. I'm terrible at this. I will try to figure it out though, so it's not a surprise. But if you have not already, please go back to last week and listen to those episodes as well. A lot of this stuff is timeless, or it resurfaces, right? Like a couple weeks, we have more information about a situation or what have you, which you may see later on this week. But Monday and Tuesday are topics. Wednesday discussion. Thursdays we be a throwback. So I did a throwback to the SolarWinds. Supply chain and how it changed the way government does business and how the rules are set up for supply chain management. So Jeff, check that one out again. It resurfaced from season one to this season, and then Friday's everything else: movies, books, games, all that good stuff. So let's talk about non-cyber related things. Without further ado, I'll give it to Shannon.
All right, everybody. This article actually comes from Cyber News, excuse me, cybernews.com, written by Vilius Petkauskas. And the title of this one is Dolly.com pays ransom, attackers release data anyway. Big surprise, right? Like we shouldn't be surprised that this is something that can happen. We've talked about this before on the show about people actually paying these ransoms, whether they should, whether they shouldn't, and whether or not, like, you got to realize you're dealing with cyber criminals anyway, and what they're going to do, whether or not they just release it anyway, or they come back to you again anyway, right? It's like terrorists, right? If you're going to pay, they're going to keep kidnapping people, right? They're going to keep doing things they shouldn't do just to keep getting paid, to do it, right? But what ended up happening here, and what they don't say in the article is how much was paid, but Dolly.com, right? So apparently they're like a moving company, right? Or they have people hired out to move certain things, like with a dolly, like a moving truck dolly, I'm guessing is what it is. I've never heard of Dolly.com before this article, but they apparently they have on-demand moving and delivery services in 45 U.S. cities, right? So again, dolly helpers is what they call their people. They come up to help or whatever, but so their information was released on a Russian forum, right? That ransomware operators and stolen data traders go to access different information. But so apparently they paid the ransom, but they still got their information released. So the reason for these hackers saying they released it is because they didn't get paid enough, for the ransom or whatever. But usually when we see articles like this, like, they give you the figure, right? You're going to pay cryptocurrency in this figure or whatever. And unless I missed it in the article, which I didn't see it anywhere when I was reading it, they never mentioned, they made a demand of a certain amount. Dolly.com didn't meet it, tried to negotiate with them or whatever. But you would figure even in that case, right? Someone, I hate, after just saying that they're criminals, right? They figure they'd be a little less scrupulous in what they do and be like, all right, that wasn't enough. Give us a little bit more, or we're going to release it, right? Because they took the money and still released it like
Right,
that. That's what
right.
they
They,
did.
they didn't want to negotiate. They were sick of it. So,
Yeah.
hey, we told you whatever that figure was, and this was not sufficient. So,
And that's the thing is, like, if you're gonna pay it, like, wouldn't you just be like, nah, I'm gonna take the L and just save your money? You know what I mean? If you
you would
need
think so. Yeah, either you give them what they want or you don't give them anything at all. Like, now I'm gonna give them about half.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. Like, it just doesn't seem like that's the way you should do business, right? But this is a fairly, I mean, 45 US cities. I mean, it's nothing to balk at, right? Like, I don't have a company in 45 US cities, right? Yeah,
Right.
but it's, you seem like you would have better business sense than that. Like, you would have to take the L, have better cybersecurity, right? Because now not only are you out that information, like, you've lost the public trust because the information got released, and you lost whatever amount of money you sent. Unless you were being funny and you sent them $1, then I could see them being like, all right, well, you want to play like that, then that's what we
Right.
do. You know what I mean? Like, here's what I think about your thing. You take $1 and you rip it in half. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, but yeah, I like, almost always when we read stories like this, or when we have stories like this, there's a figure that's given, right? Give us 5 million in Bitcoin, or whatever it may be, right? But that doesn't seem to be the case here. But like, this is just a further lesson, um, to what the US government is trying to do, even because they're like, don't pay it. Like, do not pay the money. Like, come to us, get help so that we can help you further secure your systems, offer better, techniques for the future. This is why you shouldn't do it, because you're going to pay the money anyway, and then they're still going to release it, right? Like, what you're hoping they keep their word, but they're criminals. You know what I mean? Like, what do you expect them to do? You know what I'm saying? But Ryan, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah. So if the audience has not done so already, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit a bell if there's a bell involved. Share this with your nerdy friends. Yeah, I figure they're playing. They're trying to play hardball, and they lost. Um, like you should never trust the ransomers that they aren't going to do this anyway. If you would give them the 100%, 105%, they might have still released it anyway. So you might as well not even pay them, to be honest with you. Um, but B, it just seems like, yeah, there was some haggling and they weren't feeling it. So they were like, here's the information anyway, which included, I had it up. I was trying to search. I was being greedy. I was trying to search to see if anybody knew the figures, but what was released were high-level account login details, credit card information, customer addresses, names, registration dates, user emails, and system data. Apparently, their 95 AWS S3 buckets were breached or hacked in some regard. So they had a lot of really juicy information on this victim, and they didn't want to pay. So, or at least not pay. It says not generous enough, insufficient funds were were given, things of that nature. So it just was not enough money. But again, like, don't pay, because this is probably what's going to happen to you regardless. So we keep beating the drum on not paying. The federal government's beating the drum on not paying. It just does not pay well. And I get that maybe you mitigate your risk, but at the same time, um, how do you know they're not either going to release the information, or like we've talked about where they do the double dip, where they come right back because they still have hooks within your system. So it's like, hey, you did pay. We did not release the information. By the way, we're back. So this is a new transaction, right? This is the new price for this information.
Like
So it's
Chappelle.
just
It's like Chappelle when he got money, right? It's the old
right.
price. They show a
That's the
gun.
old price.
That's funny.
So it's just it's not worth it. It's not like ask for help. Get CISA if you have a local CISA rep, which every state you have 45 different people you could contact in this regard. Any of these states has a CISA rep you could have talked to, or you could FBI, Department of Justice, like the list goes on and on and on. Like, hey, we're under attack. We need help. And at least you could have had someone to help mediate it and then get your stuff back, right? Because it seems as though the Department of Justice is pretty good about getting back the Bitcoin for things of that nature. So I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing it well. So you should probably have contacted them. Unfortunately, it says that if you so to mitigate the problems and avoid further security incidents, the team advises breach companies to retrospectively investigate all logs to see if the hackers' claims are valid. So basically, like, are they still in my system? Are they still doing stuff? Is there still suspicious activity? Reset all internal tokens and other exposed, sensitive, or internal variables. So it's just saying, like, whatever is compromised, you need to flush out of your system, because you don't know what they have, man in the middle attack, things of that nature. Like, so you need to make sure that you refresh your security, so to speak. Inform all the platform users of the hack and its possible implications. You think this would be number one, but at the same time, like, you have to make sure you clean house before you start to inform people, because then other people may come in and say, hey, they're just breached. We could probably breach them too. So it would be a pretty good idea for you to clear your house before you contact your users. But you definitely have to contact them, and we'll talk about that later on in this week. Because like big companies are out here getting breached and it's affecting all of us. It's making me mad. And then perform a full scale audit of the organization's security posture, right? So you should have a team come in, your CERT team, your incident response team, whomever, to come in and figure out like what went wrong, do the forensics, make sure nobody's still there, and how do we stop this from happening again in the future, right? So those are the four things they recommend that you do in case this happens to you. Number one, so number zero, don't pay. That's the I think that's the biggest thing. And I talked to my last week about that on LinkedIn, because he was asking, like, is it better for you to put that into your cost, basically? Like, uh if they have like company secrets or IP or things of that nature, like should you pay? I said no, like it's already gone. Like so you throwing good money after bad, or what's the saying?
That's right. That's right.
Is it throwing good money after bad?
Yeah.
They already got you. You already been ripped off. Like they're already replicating this stuff overseas. So uh it's
Here's
just not worth it.
here's what's crazy to me though, right? So like because it was AWS, it was Amazon that was providing the services to them, right? If I read this correctly, right? So if that's the case, do they go to Amazon and say, "Hey, what did you not secure for us?" Like, how does this actually work?
So a lot of those are shared responsibilities. Like
Yeah.
so, there's an agreement where we're going to do our part and you need to do your part. My just from the outside looking in, Amazon probably did their part. This company, like I don't, I'm not trying to slander them, right? I'm just saying like for them to just hourly pay and then not pay enough, they seem like their cybersecurity is not either robust or there's something missing there, right? So I would like I usually don't want to victimize the victim, but it's probably Dolly's fault. Like I think Amazon probably had their stuff together. At least this wouldn't have just happened at Dolly.com if it was an Amazon breach, right? It would have been several different organizations. So I think Dolly messed up. But that's just my un ed,
Biased.
yeah, unbiased, uneducated, because I don't know enough about Dolly, right? But just like it doesn't smell right. Like they probably didn't put a lot of money into their cyber team, or something's not right there, to because they're just making bad moves right after left. So yeah, I would think it would be a bigger situation. It would have been several different companies had this been an Amazon issue. But I'm not trying to side with the train dollar company, right? Like I have no stock within them, figuratively or literally. So, but I wish I did. But yeah, more to come. Like I think this week is full of data breaches. So definitely, if you like this, if you like uh hearing about people getting owned, like this is the week for it, because I think I got owned this week too. So definitely tune in throughout the rest of the week. Monday, Tuesday are topics. Wednesday discussion. Thursday will probably be a throwback, but I do have an interview coming up. So one of these days, maybe for the holiday, I'll record it now and then I'll put it out for Thanksgiving Day holiday. And then Friday, everything else, movies, books, games. Like we've been watching and listening to a lot of things. So definitely tune in for that as well. Um, Hit us up with all the socials that go by our name. You can hit me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. I am on LinkedIn, Clubhouse, Twitter, and Threads. I say that, but I don't really do anything on Threads. Stay safe, stay secure.